Test if the audience needs the product that you want to produce. If you don't define your journey, where you're going, then you can't lead people. I mean, those things are enablers. If you're going to be useful on social media, you have to be definitive about what you're bringing to the market.
Hi guys, good day and welcome to another special episode on the African Brand Academy podcast. Today we're talking on how you can earn money steadily as a personal brand, and I am with the coach of the coaches, Emeka Nobis. So if you don't know who Emeka Nobis is your go-to writer and coach and business consultant and trainer. He has written over 14 books on how you can earn money from what you already know. And I'll be talking with him today on how you can do this and how you can start even from now from what you already know. And he resigned from his job to focus on helping individuals who have a message to share with humanity, but they are scared, doubtful, and confused to become exceptional by clarifying their messages. So he teaches how to build a platform for the communication of their ideologies and how to earn by establishing profitable business systems. Welcome, sir. Oh boy,
Thank
I'm so nervous.
you much. I'm grateful. Yeah, Sharon.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
When I was doing a bit of research, I found out that you actually did study mechanical engineering.
Yes.
How did you leave that and then become this author, coach, and everything? Like, I heard you just dropped everything for this style. Why?
Well, the thing is that people need to realize the fact that sometimes it's not even about what you studied in school. It's the fact that there's a deposition of talents or what we call gifts inside of us that can be utilized on a larger scale to be a blessing to people beyond what you studied in school.
Mm,
All right. So it's also evident sometimes when you go to see certain individuals. For example, you go to see like a medical doctor, you find out that the medical doctor is humorous, he can crack jokes, he can pass off as a comedian, right? But the fact that he uses humor to be able to deal with patients, in his clinic,
yeah.
there's a deposition of talent inside of him that is just beyond the call of medicine, so to say. So for me, it's been there
Mm,
all the while. I discovered that I could write as far back as the time I was 7. I started writing short stories here and there, bits and pieces here and there. The gift was just there. I remember when I came third in the whole of Imo State, when we wrote an essay competition and I was third. I shook the hand of the then military administrator of Imo State at the time, Colonel Tanko Zubairu.
okay.
And that was when I
All right.
was in my, I think that was when I was in my, I can't remember now, second year or so in university at the time. And so everything was just there. Even though I studied mechanical engineering, it was just there. And by the time I left university and I started working, that was when I began to hone the skills, so to say. And that's the journey I've embarked upon ever since then up until now. So
Mm,
for me, it's not really about, and somebody will say, okay, I've left engineering completely. No, the things I've learned in engineering, my engineering makes you to be able to have an acute sense of the things that you're encountering, or the things that you're having relationship with. In this case, it was with machines. But now, that you're an
yeah.
engineer and you are having this relationship with machines, you have an acute sense of observation, because you've got to observe the machine, you've
Mm,
got to listen. That sometimes you walk into the workshop and you will, by listening to the machine, you understand that the machine is already going bad because you have an acute
yeah.
sense of observation using your ears. There are certain things you just look at with your eyes.
Mm,
You find out that something is actually missing out somewhere. So right now, I'm deploying the skills I've gotten as an engineer in my written pieces. So how am I able to write in a way to capture the minds of individuals? How am I able to write to make someone to love my pieces? That observation. You observe words, you observe people, the way they behave, you observe their everyday life. So by the time I'm fusing everyday life and the languages and the conversations that I observe in everyday life, you find out individuals love such because they can relate with it in your pieces. So I
mm.
haven't left that completely. Even though I'm not working in an engineering firm anymore, I'm not building pieces anymore. But then those skills are still with me at the moment.
So when did you make the transition to working for yourself and building companies?
Yeah, it was. I resigned from paid employment in the year 2016, but I had planned it so well. I planned it to resign from paid employment. That was in 2006 when I was sent abroad, to go and do a training. The company sent me to be
Okay.
trained. And then I came back to Nigeria
Mm.
2007. And I realized by the time I came back that I wasn't going to fully reach the zenith, if there's anything like that, the zenith in my engineering profession. So it was from that point when I got back to Nigeria that I began to plan my exit. So I began to put things in place, began to learn the things I needed to learn. What did I need to do to be able to become someone that people would love? What did I need to do to become noticed? And I began to put all those things in place, began to study, began to attend trainings, and most importantly, connect with individuals who were already on the path that I wanted to go on and who were doing amazingly well, remarkably well. Some of them have even left Nigeria now, but in life there are sometimes you just have a realization, you just know that you're not going to push this thing further than where it is currently. Do you get that was
Mm.
just a realization that I
Yeah.
had. So in order for me to function well in the choosing path, I needed to do a few things. So I began to learn
Mm.
from the individuals who were already on the path and who were doing remarkably well. I began to undergo trainings. I began to read books. And most importantly, I was executing. So after between 2007, I knew by 2010 that I was really going to resign. So I said to myself 5 years that I was going to resign, and but eventually it was more than 5 years. So I resigned on the 18th of March 2016, and ever since then, it's still a learning process for me. Every day is a day of learning.
Mm. So would you say that like this continuous learning and personal development played an important role in achieving success as a writer?
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. I can tell you that. And it's not something that you will stop even as you begin to achieve levels of success. Check out the very successful individuals, even though they may not term it personal development, so to say, but you find out that personal development is more encompassing. The individuals that you meet, the books that you read, the conscious awareness
Mm.
of the fact that you have to be better as an individual, all these things all come together
Yeah.
under the umbrella of personal development.
Can you share some like strategies that from your journey to building your community and executing this learning you did and building your community, monetizing it? Can you share some strategies that our listeners can use for building a strong personal brand?
Okay, the thing is that there's been a lot, when it comes to building a personal brand and building my community. There's a whole lot. Like this evening, I was watching a football match, and I saw Rashford of Man United. When he scored, he left the pitch and went to hug three of the fans.
Mm.
And I said to people, right there is something that that guy did regarding building his personal brand, making himself loved by the fans. The mere fact that he ran out of the pitch and went to hug three of the
Yeah.
fans is an emotional bonding between him. So there are so many things that I do with regards to
Mm.
building my personal brand. First and foremost is to understand specifically the value that I'm bringing into the marketplace. I have to define it, because if you don't define your journey, where you're going, then you can't lead people. Because I consider myself as a leader of people in my community. So I have to be able to define the journey. Where are they going with me? What are they going to gain on this journey with me? And so it has to be defined. All right. So
Yeah.
as a military general or as a leader of a military platoon or whatever, you're leading them to war, but you don't know where you guys are going, right? So you have to define the journey. The second thing I had to do was consistently rising up every day to be of great value to people. So I'm sharing my ideas, I'm sharing my processes, I'm sharing my strategies, I'm sharing how I'm getting results, I'm sharing my vulnerable moments, I'm sharing my failures, I'm sharing my successes. As I'm doing that, the impression is that
Mm.
people are learning from me to utilize and better their own journeys. And so they will rely upon me as that bridge to take them from where they are to where they desire to be. Okay, so for me, it's all about waking up every day and creating the right kind of content that will inspire people, that will motivate people, and will catalyze them into taking relevant efforts, relevant actions that will get them the required results that they are looking for, or the desired results they are looking for. The third point is that you have to build these connections with human beings, because humans will make you. There's no individual that is self made. No individual is self made. All right. So for me, being self made is a myth, because you will need individuals to climb
Mm.
different rungs of the ladder. Somebody has to speak on your behalf to someone else. Someone has to bring you into certain corridors of power. Somebody has to speak to someone's ear to give you a job or to give you a contract. So
Mm.
connecting with people is paramount for me. So it's all about me listening to individuals. Sometimes about I hear someone's problem. I say, okay, come over to the office and tell me what the problem is. Sometimes it's just by listening and not even giving a piece of advice, just allowing the person to vent. Those emotional connections. Where places that I go to speak, I listen to individuals. Sometimes I go to speak at events, and people are surprised that I get there on time, and I speak and I sit down and listen to other speakers. Unlike some speakers who will come, speak, and then they will go home. But for me, I will be there, I will speak, I will sit down, I will listen to other speakers. And then at the end of the event, people are reaching out to me and taking selfies and asking me questions. That thing is an emotional bonding between you and your brand. And that's how you keep growing your community, right? So another thing I do is to participate in campaigns. So there could be campaigns to help someone who is dealing with a health issue, or someone who has been kicked out of his house, or someone who has been unjustly treated,
Mm.
by maybe an organization. And I jump in on that campaign and I carry it on my head and I keep spearheading the campaign and talking about it and all that. That's another way people say, oh, this guy, he's rallying behind a cause. Let's join him on this journey of rallying behind a cause. And then they do that. So there are so many things that I do, all right? So many things that I do to consistently build my community and my brand.
One thing I like about your brand is that it's very different from any other person that want to come out as an expert or an authority in their industry, because you try to connect with us on a friend level, on a very on a very very mutual level. It's not easy to understand what you're trying to say. It's not easy for us to listen to you talk, because then we can relate with your brand. So I like how you've been able to do that for yourself, and it has really shown. That's what kept my interest really. I was like, I need to sit down with this person. But we are both in Port Harcourt, and I'm not been able to sit down with you, and I'm so sorry about that. But okay, so when you were talking, what I got was that in building a strong personal brand and growing your audience, you have to know what you offer, right?
Yeah.
Know who you're trying to reach, constantly show up and engage, build connections and grow your network, listen, connect with your audience, and participate in campaigns. I know you said there are other things you do to make sure that you try to connect with them better. But the major thing I was able to pick up there is the fact that you have to consistently show up and you engage. Like you don't fall short on that. Constantly show up and engage with them, engage your community. All right. So you are very big on diversifying income, and you keep evangelizing on how it's easy to start making money from the knowledge that one already has. What would you say that is one of your best ways that you've been able to teach, or that people can earn money from doing what they already know?
Okay, so you can make money from what you already know certain ways. The first way could be by teaching what you know. So that thing that you already know, some
Mm,
other individuals want to learn it. So you can teach it
yeah,
by doing training. That's one way
yeah,
that you can make money, by teaching what you know in form of trainings. You can also do online courses.
mm,
You can do online courses. So you create a course that people will buy into and people will pay money and buy from you your product. Another way is that you can put them in form of ebook, because that's the easiest way to be able to put your knowledge into a consumable format. So you create an ebook and put all the things that you know in form of an ebook. Another way is to create a
mm,
book. So you can create a book, write a book, and get it printed. So I say to everybody,
yeah,
irrespective of the what you're doing in life, every one of us, there's a knowledge dimension to everything that we're doing. For example, you are doing this conversation with me right now. There's a knowledge dimension to it. If you're going to be teaching people, okay, how to be able to connect and do the same thing you're doing, having a podcast, you can teach individuals, okay, how do you connect to high net worth individuals? For example, how long it took you to get me here, the patience, the
yeah,
words that you've been using. Some individuals will just get angry and say, that's how they are doing. Very proud people because they are there, they are big, they don't want to pay attention and all that. Because I'm busy myself. And you know
yeah,
how long it has taken you since last year to be able to get me on this podcast. So the patience to deal
yeah,
with high net worth individuals. All right, that's what you can teach. You will also
yeah,
teach how do you do your recordings, platforms that you can use to do your recording. You can also teach what kind of questions should you ask an individual when they come on the podcast, so you can put all those things down, and that can become a book. Do you get? If you're running a
Yeah.
successful podcast where you are inviting different high net worth individuals or individuals to come and sit down with you and have a podcast, have a conversation with you, then let's take for example, I don't know if the guy wrote a book. He's dead now. That used to anchor programs on CNN. If you remember, his something King, all right, where he used to
Yeah.
bring. Can you remember his name? He was on CNN for a long time. Larry King Live. You can
Okay. Yeah.
Google him if you don't know him. Larry King Live. Larry
Yeah.
was interviewing presidents, senators, high net worth individuals. I mean,
Yeah.
filmmakers, artists, singers, name them. But I don't know if Larry King wrote a book on the processes that he utilized to be able to get those people on his show. He wrote a book on public
Mm.
speaking, that I know, but I don't know how whether he wrote. So if you decide right now because you've got a successful podcast, there are some other individuals who want to start out this podcast, but they may be afraid of how do I talk to individuals to come on the podcast. You can write in the book and say this is how to do. This is how to engage a high net worth individual. This is how to send your email. This is how to engage them, WhatsApp or something like that. That is the knowledge dimension
Yeah.
of what you're doing. If you're able to put that now into a
Yes.
book or an ebook and somebody buys it and goes through the same process and to get their own
Mm.
results, that's absolutely amazing. That's how to take what you know and put it in form of a format that people will pay you and you make money for yourself. So that's it.
Yeah. So how many income streams do you think one should have?
My beer, there shouldn't be any limit.
How many income streams can you remember? Do you feel
There's
you have
no
right
there's
now?
no limit to it, my dear. I have different income streams. Not all of them give me money on a daily basis. I can reel out. So I make money from my
Okay.
ebooks. I make money from my books. I make money from my trainings. I make money from my online courses. I make money from strategy consultations. I used to do coaching,
Mm.
but I stopped coaching. So I do a lot more strategy
Okay.
consult because coaching takes my time and my energy. I have to be with one individual over a period of time, and it
Mm.
was taking away my energy, so I had to stop that. And so I make money now from influencer marketing, so people will send me money to write about their brands because I have a large followership. I make money from public speaking,
Mm.
and then I make money from writing,
Wow.
right? So I can write for right now. I'm writing for just one brand, one personal brand. I write for him. He pays me monthly, and
Mm.
I make money now. I'm now in real estate, so I'm also making money from real estate. So I can tell you, have as many income streams as possible, as many. There's no limit. As long as you're able to deal with all of them, by all means, go ahead.
But you have a team that helps out with
Yeah,
these things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a company. I have a company called Switch Parts. I have individuals who work for me because I can't do everything. All right. So sometimes my head is on the marketing, or sometimes my head is in the creation part, and then they go ahead to execute other things. So from time to time, you've got to have a team
Mm.
of individuals who can help you. Before I used to do so many things by myself, but even now, some of my trainings that I do on WhatsApp, I have a PA right now. She's there. When people pay, they reach out to her. She does the compilations and everything, and then it smoothens my journey. So
Yeah.
and then we ought to also have a lot of allowing tech to help us. So sometimes automations can help. So we don't need to do physical conversation with someone before a
Mm.
sale can be made. So someone can go on my timeline, read something, click on a link, get something purchased, and the thing delivers to the individual without me being there. You get? So tech can also
Yeah.
help us in being able to execute.
What's your view on the new platform ChatGPT?
Okay. I've checked it out. For me, people are scared that platform is, but now people are not even talking about it so much because they brought out their paid their subscription, isn't it? When it was totally free, people were scared that it was going to make people lose their jobs. But I mean, those things are enablers. Like yesterday, I wanted to do a post for someone. It was a post on blockchain. My head didn't really go to disturbing myself about how to come up with content. I went to a which one did I even go to yesterday, sir? One AI platform like that.
Okay.
Copy.ai, exactly. Copy.ai. And I just typed in benefits of blockchain and making money. Boom. content came out for me. I just copied it, tweaked a few things, and I posted on my timeline. Shikena, So people should not see those things as making them lose their jobs, because the thing about it is that you can't remove completely the human interface sometimes, in the things that we do.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I don't know why people are scared, because even when we're writing copies, machine may not bring in the emotional side of things. Do you get? They are the emotions that we need to impute into our written pieces. Do you get? So AI will not be able to do that. So people should not be scared. For me, that it's just it's an enabler.
If I'm starting out, right? If I'm starting out, like I love the fact that you used me as a case study on. I've written a book though for podcasting, but it was niched to pastors and ministries. Yes, I quite had issues selling that. The clergy ministry in Nigeria has issue probably investing in more knowledge. If I will say that way, they have issues investing in extra knowledge or that kind of thing. So they want things to be done freely for them. So going to meet a ministry person and saying, um, buy this stuff, and I'm like, do I really need it? Can't you do it for me for free? That kind of thing. So that went on a pause for a while. But when people started meeting me that I should coach them, right, on how to set up their podcast or help them set it up, and what they have to do is just come in and start using the platform that I've created for them. So that's another one. But your audience here, you've been able to create a good audience, almost 20,000. Have you? Yeah, it's over 20,000 on Instagram alone, minus your communities on WhatsApp and everything. You've been able to create a good number of audience already on social media. Can you just give us a bit of guide on selling to these audiences, because some people can have over 20,000, 10,000 followers, but then selling and making sure these people buy what they are selling is always a huge problem. So can you give us a bit of trick or hack on how we can get good at selling what we have to our
Yeah,
audience?
the first important thing, I think the whole thing boils down first and foremost. If you're going to be useful on social media, you have to be definitive about what you're bringing to the marketplace. If you check my profile on my platforms, you find out that I'm definitive, right? If I'm there and
Yes.
I'm just cruising or jonesing around, then when I
Mm.
want to do something serious, people may not really take me serious. So people know that I'm providing solutions in the areas of marketing, sales, leadership. And so when I now talk about my
Yeah.
products, they will likely have, want to sign up. But the key thing is this. That's the first thing, be
Mm.
definitive. The second thing is, what problem will your product or your offering solve? So whether I call it offer or
Okay.
whether I call it product, it's the same thing. So you're not producing something that people do not have a need for. You get? You have to produce something that people
Mm.
have a need for. For example, one of the ways that I produce certain things, like my current training right now, how to grow a social media audience that makes money for you. How did it come about? I was invited to go to speak at an event, all right, in a
Okay.
Owerri, and they drove me, they sent me money to hire a car that was going to drive me from Port Harcourt, and then they put me in a hotel, in Protea Hotel in Owerri, and asked me, I mean, eat
Okay.
whatever you like, the room, everything was. And then I wasn't even the main speaker. I wasn't even a guest speaker. I was a panelist. And so when I sat on that panel, the panel
Mm.
was about 45 minutes. And I don't think I spoke up to 10 minutes in all in my presentation and in the question that I
Mm.
answered. And so when I sat down at that question they asked me was, Emeka, you have been able to build then I was 72,000 followers. That was at last year, October 22nd, when I attended that event. I was 72,000
Yeah.
followers. And so they asked me a question and asked me, how have you been able to build your social media audience to this level? That was the question. Anyway, they had sent me
Mm.
that they were going to ask me that question at that panel. So I was prepared for the question. And so as I was
Yeah.
answering, I looked around in the hall and I saw that people were really very, very attentive to what I was saying. They were paying attention to what I was saying. By the time I rose
Mm.
from that panel session, and as I was climbing down, I heard a voice in my head or in my spirit, whichever. I said, "This thing that you just explained to people is a problem that they are needing to solve, because you could see how they were attentive and listening to you." Yeah, and then I said to myself, I was going to create
Yeah.
this a product. And so when I came back, when I got back to Port Harcourt, I put it out on my timeline. Hey guys, I'm going to create a program. that's going to teach you how to grow your social media platform the same way that I grew mine and all that. And then I put it out there. And I said I was going to open up a wait list, launch the training on December 25th. And I said, if you are ready to come in now and buy it for one, I think I started at selling at 1,000 naira. Come in now. So people came in. I opened a WhatsApp group and people started paying 1,000, boom, 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 like that. And then I increased it 2,000, from 2,000 to 3,000, 3,000 to 4,000, 4,000 to 5. I think it was at 5,000 the day of my release, and people were still paying. Right now it is at 10,000, but I decided to test something, and I found out that majority of Nigerians are comfortable to buy certain trainings at just 5,000 naira. I mean, by testing with my audience, for such training. So I'm thinking of bringing it down from 10,000 to 5, so that, because if you look at it, the peculiarity of the course, how to grow a social media audience, may be a very critical need for so many people, but it's not something that they are willing to spend 100,000 naira or 200,000 naira on. This is my own observation. So
Yes.
I'm bringing it down to 5,000. And
Mm.
today I think I made 4 sales today, 5,000 naira each, cost 20K,
Wow.
So the key thing is test if the audience needs the product that you want to produce. Because if they may not need it and you produce it, they may not really buy. The third thing you need to realize is the psychology of people and the way they buy. So you have to be able to study people online and study the peculiarities and how they want their problem to be presented to them in a way that they can buy. For example, if you check out the way I do my things, I have come to realize that people in Nigeria, we have a survivalist mentality. We want to survive by all means, and surviving is about the
Wellness.
basic necessities of life: the feeding, the clothing, and
Mm.
the accommodation. Feeding, clothing, and accommodation. These are three basic needs of life. And so to survive and be able to afford the basic necessities of life, you need one fundamental thing, which is money. And so for every product that I'm creating, every training I'm making, I'm always linking it to money. How to grow a social media audience that gives you money. How to write a book. My book, your book will sell. How to author a book and market it so that you make lots of money. I mean, that is everything that I'm doing has a way of being linked to money, because I understand that Nigerians, many of us are on survival mode. And that is the truth. So you have to be able to understand
Mm.
the psychology of the audience or the people that you are trying to sell to. All right. And how they want their problems to be presented to them, to
Yeah.
make them to become aware that that particular problem has to be solved. The next point I want to share with you with regards to sales is the fact that you have to be able to itemize for yourself the benefits of the product that you are putting out there in the marketplace. Somebody is not just buying a product, somebody is buying a product because it will benefit them. And the benefits can be ranged from
Mm.
aspirational benefits to functional benefits, just luxury benefits. So somebody can buy a pair of shoes for 200,000 naira. The benefit for the individual is not about the functionality of the shoe, it's about the ego, how they feel. I mean, they feel that they are not the same thing, the same level with many other individuals. Sometimes you find that people buy cars not necessarily because the car is so fast or it can move from place to place, but because of the title or positional effect. For example, if you're driving with a brand new Lexus or a brand new Rover or something like that, how people perceive you as a big boy, that is also
Yeah.
a need that has to be solved. So people have different benefits that they are going to earn from. Okay, take for example, if you buy a rubber watch, what is the role of a watch? The role of a watch is to tell time, isn't it? And the watch is actually telling the time. And you wear that rubber watch on your hand,
Yeah.
and then somebody else wears a Rolex and comes to the same place. Two of you,
Mm.
you are looking at time. Oh, the time is correct, oh, but then
Yeah.
look at how people are going to look at the both of you. Do you get? So the benefit is also not just about the time, but about positional status or something. Status, that's the thing, status symbol for you. Some individuals
Yeah.
attend certain schools not because other schools are not great, but because of I did this school, they pay this amount of money, and the kind of other individuals that they're going to meet there. Because some individuals actually stretch themselves, they pay a huge amount of money for a school because other individuals who are also
Mm.
coming are big boys like them, or not like them, but big boys. So they
Yeah.
have the opportunity to mingle with those kinds of individuals. And who knows, they can bring them into their own circles and life, steps up. So they itemize the benefits of your product that you're putting out there in the marketplace. And I tell individuals you have to have as many as 30 benefits if you can. Doesn't mean that every product will have up to 30 benefits, but if you can have up to 30 benefits of that particular offer that you're making, fine, because you can
Yeah.
explore different benefits, different angles when you are pitching your offer
For
product, your
marketing.
market. So, and
Yeah.
then the next thing is that you have to pitch your offer. So it's not about you keeping quiet. You have to be able to pitch your offer different ways. You can make phone calls. You can use social media. You can go on radio. You can even go from house to house. There are sometimes individuals, I mean, they go from house to house marketing what it is that they have got, and they can get a few sales. Okay, so you got to rise and be able to pitch the product, and then be consistent in pitching. So it's not today you do, tomorrow you don't do. Next tomorrow you come back and say, "Who missed me?" All those kind of stuff. Like I tell individuals, every day you
Yeah.
have to make an offer. Every day you have to make an offer, because the more that you make those offers, the more the probability of sales happening. So these are a few things that I can share with you
Yeah.
regarding being able to market and sell.
That was too insightful. Before we go, I would love to know what are you working on this
I'm
year?
working on 5 books actually. Yeah,
This
before
year?
my 42nd, 43rd birthday, sorry. I'm 42 now, I'm going on 43. Before July
What?
1st, I'm bringing out 5 books. I've already started the manuscript. I've set how I'm going to write the manuscript. I'm writing 2 this month. I've already started them already.
Okay.
For the end of the month, I should have finished the 2 manuscripts. I'm looking at finishing one in 2 weeks, another
Mm.
one in 2 weeks. I give myself like that. But I'm writing both of them side by side. So 2 weeks like that, and be able to get. Then next month, I'll do another 2. And then April, I'll do one. And then by May, I kick off my full campaign. May, June, and then my birthday is on the 1st. And by May,
So are you going to sell it
the thing
together?
is that on my birthdays, basically, I have a physical event that people attend. So at that physical event, or
Mm.
those who want to buy online, you have the opportunity to buy single, and you have the opportunity to buy in bulk. So those who are going to buy
Okay.
the 5 books, I have something special for them. They could be recorded videos, something extra
Wow.
that they will have, in addition to
Mm.
being able to buy those books. So that's what I'm planning.
Am I getting the RSVP
Yeah, you
for?
can. The event is usually free. It's usually, since I started hosting, it's been
Oh
free.
wow.
All right, so people can attend. You can come
That's nice.
learn. Some people come learn and go home. They don't buy any book, but then it's always a time for you to buy my book for less the actual price. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, but it's still going to be surrounding growing the community
Yeah,
and
so
making
the books
money.
I'm writing 5 books. One of them is this same training that I did, how to grow a social media audience that gives you money. I'm converting it into a book because the video is not so
Okay.
exhaustive. The videos are short and punchy, but the books will now have a story,
Mm.
my stories and the things that I've been doing, explained in fleshed out in full detail. And then I'm writing a book, How to Get Rich, training, organizing training. So the way I've been organizing trainings, there are individuals who want to organize trainings like that. So I'm writing a book on that. I'm writing a book called Damn You Boss, I Quit, or Dear Boss, I Quit. How I was able to leave paid employment to start out in the knowledge industry. And then I'm writing a book together with my
Wow.
partner Namdibe on a book called Strategy of Tours, how we were able to do tours in 2022 and expose our brand and make money and get known. That's what we're writing. All you need to do,
Mm.
what you need to do, the places you have to go, how to scout, how to set up volunteers and all that stuff. All those things, all written out. And then the final book is a book of short stories. You know, the title of the book is that your real enemies are not in the village. Just a collection of short stories. These are the 5 books that I'm writing. Basically,
Okay, that's good. I really look
why
forward.
are you still laughing?
It's a book that what are the kind of stories that will be inside. Inspire people to know that it's them that is doing themselves, and you have to work.
Of
Abi,
course.
or what kind of case studies will be? What kind of case studies will be in the
Or
book?
when the
What kind
book
of
comes out
stories?
now. For a book, the title of the if a book is a collection of short stories, the title may not really reveal the core
Mm.
message of the book. That title could be just one story in the book.
Yeah.
Do you get? And other things are just other
Yes.
stories.
Yes.
That
Yes.
ti-
Yes.
that the title of the book is just to make it catchy and for people to, yes.
Okay, so it's been really good having you here. I'll link his seller account to in the description below so you can access all the books and even the course. So what I'm saying is that on seller the cost is still ten
Yes, it's still
thousand naira.
10,000 naira, but those who have joined my wait list now are getting it at 5,000. So that's the thing. It's going to be like that.
Okay, so for us, if people that say are going to go and get it now, you don't even have any
They
discount code
can
that say
join
get
my
it
if
at
they
ten
want to
thousand
join
naira.
my wait list. They can join my wait list and get it for 5,000. But if you go out there,
Okay. So how do we access this wait
I
list?
need to send you a link. Oh, it's a WhatsApp link. Link.
All right. So I'll put the link in description too, so you
No
can also
problem.
access the wait list. And that's the wait list for the 5 books too,
For
right?
now, I've not opened the wait list yet. It should be around that May thereabout.
Okay. Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for spitting all values throughout this episode. It's been short and sweet. I'm so grateful. But I need to let you go because I've been hearing your phone ring. So I know there are some things that you have to attend to. But I'm so grateful. And if you have any questions for him, I will also link his Instagram in the description. So you just go DM him if you want to work with him. You can also send a DM to on his Instagram. Right? Is there any other place we can access you apart from
No,
Instagram?
I'm even more active on Facebook, Seth.
Okay, you're more
Yeah.
active on Facebook, yeah. Is it like a page or a
No, my
group?
name, Emeka Nobis.
Emeka
Yes.
Nobis. Alright. So you can also access him on Facebook, Emeka Nobis. You can do that on
Yeah.
Instagram. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. And to all of our listeners, I want to say a very big thank you for tuning in and being a part of the community. So keep grinding, keep pushing, keep growing your brand. As always, we'll be here with you at every step of the way. Make sure to join our communities on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, review us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a question pertaining to branding or business development, you can email us at africanbrandacademy@gmail.com or message us on any of the social media platforms or our social media communities, and I will be able to answer you on the next episode. It could be your question, and even if I'm not able to answer you here directly, I'd make sure to answer you in the communities. And this is Sharon Alfred saying ciao. Take care.